When I was in Afghanistan, I was captured, condemned to death. That changed me forever. I'm Stéphane Gladieux. I'm a photographer since 30 years. The proposition was to make a portrait of the North Korean society. I had to find a space of freedom in the restriction that I had. So this principle to say, okay, I will make portraits in the same style as the Russian or North Korean propaganda could be interesting. This was a way for them to understand a bit what I was doing. And also it was a way for me to overplay what they give me the chance to see. Because what you see is a reality. That's what is crazy. For them it's not surreal. Because they are in a theatralization of every part of their life. So this pictures was taken in like the science and technology building. You have a 3D movie theater. It was interesting to see that because this modernity didn't really match with the idea that I had also about what North Korea is. I didn't realize that he's touching his ass and that they have a very, let's say, intimate attitude. And when I showed them, they were not very comfortable, but they didn't say anything, so that was fun. So I keep it like that. I had a fixation of these ladies, because you have the most beautiful ladies in the subway and in the crossroad where they take the place of the red light. You need to understand that individual portraits doesn't exist in North Korea, because individuals doesn't really exist outside of the group. You, as an individual, you are useful for the group and you need to exist inside of it. You are going to be photographed from your first school until university. You're going to be photographing groups. Individual portrait is for social reconnaissance. You know, ID papers, things like that. Imagine that when they are asked to pose for a foreigner, quite strange. I was not a war photographer. I never been really. It was more an accident than anything else. I think everybody that have been in Afghanistan can tell you that it's a drug. Taliban was there. After the problem was clear that they allowed me to go there, but I didn't have the right to take pictures. Each of them is a story. Most of them, the camera was a small camera that was under my jacket. Il y avait des déclencheurs souples qui passaient comme ça, que j'avais là, et en fait j'avais juste à faire ça, comme ça ou comme ça. So I never saw what I was shooting. I had to train weeks before to know exactly where was my lens and to be able to put it a little bit upper or a bit more down. Most of the pictures have been done like that, without any focus. The Taliban praying in front of the Royal Palace of Kabul. When I arrived there, nobody was there. So I started to make some pictures of the place. 2 cars arrived, black cars, and then I get scared because I knew that it was Taliban. This guy went out of the SUV and he told me that he was the minister of all the historical places in Afghanistan. And you, what are you doing? I start by a joke. I told him I'm a Taliban photographer. And the guy laughed. They asked me to make pictures of them with me. I saw one of them starting to wash his hand on his face, so I realized that they're going to pray. I knew that at one point of the prayer, they will all close their eyes. And so I slowly went on the side. And when I saw them closing their eyes, I shoot 2, 3 pictures. And then they finished to pray. And one of them came to me and said, "You took pictures of us." I said, "No, I didn't take a picture of you. But you took pictures." I said, "Yeah, I took pictures because look, the light was really beautiful behind. But I didn't take a picture of you." "Are you sure?" "Yeah, I'm sure." And I went back to the van. I pressed on the camera to take the roll out. I threw it under a seat. I put a new one and I came back. I could have had a lot of trouble. This one is sad. At the beginning, this place was a shelter for mental disease. But there was this young boy, was probably 12 or 13 years old, and he tried to tell me something. And then he started to take my shirt and say, "Come with me, come with me." We went up the first floor and came into a corridor, and in the room were these widows that was hidden. On these pictures, you see 7, almost 8 of them. But there were probably 20, 25 in the room, seated like that, no water, nothing. This young boy pushed me there to show, because even for him it was something like terrifying, that was something unacceptable to see all these women kept like slaves in this room. I saw public execution in the stadium. I saw a woman that was beaten because she didn't respect law. I even had to dress like a Taliban with a turban and everything to visit a clandestine school for young girls. But I couldn't go dressed like a European to document this woman that had the courage to risk their own life to try to teach to young girls. Okay, so this is the Mai Mai. They are located in the Democratic Republic of Congo, in Kivu. They are taking care of large cattle. They start to make a kind of mystical, magical ceremony around the water, Mai. So Mai Mai is the one that is protected by the water. So it's magic that gives you the possibility to hide yourself with leaves, mud, and to try to hide in the forest. This first portrait is really like traditional one, with one young witch doctors, and behind you have three fighters. You feel that the part of theatralization is done to give you power, to give you face. It's just like, it's not theatralization like what we can see, for carnivals or things like that. It's something very that it's into their roots and their identities. You have trance, the link with the fire, with the water, dance, drum, music. So it's a mix of things that is very, very powerful. If you tell me, you can't go there, it's impossible, you are sure that I will try. And not once. It will take me 10 years, 15 years, I don't care, but I will continue.